Hi, I'm Oliver, and today I will explaining how to create building templates for CScape by using ProBuilder. ProBuilder is a free Unity asset, and it can be downloaded from the asset store. Creating templates can be done also from any other modeling program, but in this case we will be using CScape. This so how we do it? First of all, we will create here a CScape megacity, but we won't be generating any buildings. Only thing that we should do here is to import one of existing buildings, single one. So we go to CScape, editor, resources, building templates, buildings, and I will drag and drop this this one that I'm using for editing buildings. You will see, you will find it here. You will see that it can be resized and changed in appearance. So we can change it like any other building that you probably already know how to use it. If we want to see how it was originally, original mesh was something like this. By resizing it to smallest size, you will see that it's made more or less like this. For this example, I will try to build another type of building, and I will start by opening ProBuilder by going to Tools, ProBuilder, Editor, ProBuilder window. Here we can start by creating new shape, and we will start by creating a cube. I will click here on Build Cube, and I can see that it made one cube, but its position is outside of our interest range. So we will set it to stay at 0 coordinate and zoom onto it double clicking. Now you will have to look at this to orient your viewport that is in a frontal view, let's say, so that Z axis points towards away from you. You will see that default cube that it was made has a pivot point at the back, but we will want it in the front of our building. So we can start by editing faces. I will select this option, that is a face selector, double click on the whole building, hold Control, and it will snap it to this position. A cube is the simplest type of building, but we don't want it to be that simple. So we will start by adding some details. You will see that this unit is 1 meter per 1 meter. And now I will wait a second. I will select Control and move it by another 2 units, so that we have 3 meters here. Now I select also here and make it 3. Make it be 3 meters here. Also, I will want it to be at least 2 meters high. In this case, I'm creating a building that uses as unit 1 meter, but this 1 meter will become 3 meters in CScape. So from here I will start. You could always You could always use also 3 meter units, but it's probably more difficult to snap and to work with values that are that are 3 meters. Okay, so now I will extrude this by holding Shift and Control, and you will see that it created another edge right here. This edge we will use later to define some properties of our building. We can now select also this part, scale it inside. I won't be extruding it. Let's say something like 1 meter. This way, and now we have a most simple type of a building, but we want to make it a little bit more complicated. So let's start Scale tool and click Shift and scale it. This will do extrude on 1 dimension, and now we will extrude it like this. Okay, say something that it's like 1 meter. No, we will take it to this level. Nice thing about Pro Builder is that it shows you units directly in viewport. So I'm not trying to work perfectly, but this should be fine. And now we will also want to add here another extrusion and one another, so that we have another level of our building. One thing that we should do probably here is to eliminate this lower face, because we don't need it. We won't need it in our final building. Okay. At this stage, one of the most important things is that we have to assign vertex colors to this object. CScape uses vertex colors to understand which face can have any windows and which face uses only walls. In this case, we will be start by adding vertex colors, clicking on the plus and saying vertex color editor, change this to palette, not on Painter, because Painter is for other things. We'll click on Open Vertex Editor, and we will say to use black color for everything. Now we'll start adding. Now we will define here which are surfaces that won't be affected by any window. So I will say that this, 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 and this guy here. Also this and this, because we don't want any windows on the wall sides. Also here we'll do the same thing. And now we are ready to assign white color. So black is a windowed surface, white is a only wall surface. You will notice that I'm not adding any vertex colors on upper faces, because they will be filled automatically with a shader inside CScape. So now I can export this file. Close this window, and maybe close this. Close this. I will export this file into a new folder that I already made by selecting Cube and saying Export. I will export this as an asset, so that Unity keeps all changes on the vertex colors. Okay, I'm going here and I'm finding my folder. That is CScape Custom Buildings, Cube Prefab. Okay, I can now close this one, and I can also delete this prefab because I don't need it. I will only need this mesh, and I can probably rename it to something like CScape template 1. Okay. Now I can go to my original template, and I will be loading here my CScape template. You'll see that it goes here. I will say update mesh template. Here you now see that as my that this is less than there are units. It is only 3 meters, but it should be 9 meters because you use 3 meters. So I will say this model unit is 1 CScape unit. Update mesh template, and now we have it scaled as it should be. And now we should use this button that is guess building size. It will adapt, it will help CScape to understand what is the original mesh size, original template size. So in this way, this blue area that is the area that the building should cover will cover whole building. Now you'll see that it behaves as it should. Okay. One of the things that we don't, probably isn't correct, is height, but we'll come to this later. You see here, our building guessing didn't work well, so we will correct here prefab floor number is set 4, so this will come to 4th floor. This means also that it will correctly try to position correctly all the buildings on the upper side. But if you remember that we made this extrusion here, and if you look here well, you will see that it doesn't work properly. So what can we do? We have to go into template configuration and set Resizer center to see here, if you move it, I will try to explain how does it work. You have a mesh and you have imaginary lines in between that are used to separate all the vertices of a mesh. So in this case, if you change this position, you will see how it, wait a second, no, sorry, this one. We'll see how it moves from one side to the other. And now, as we have here a level that is a little bit lower, we'll have to instruct CScape to use this this option of rooftops a little bit lower. So we'll have to say this. We'll have to move roof height to move it down so that it sits on our roof. This way it will be generated every time in the correct place, and it will follow this. You will notice also that right now we don't have any windows here, so we'll have to change the same Resizer center on epsilon axis, and to say where we want to split our mesh. We can, from the same mesh, we can have a different. By using the same mesh, we can have also different buildings. You will see here that if I change it like this, it will keep always lower part of a building fixed, and the higher part of the building will be scaled. Or if we put it down, it will be scaled like this. Also, there is another option that is defined by this threshold value that defines this splitting line and give us possibility to use wait a second, let's see, like set this, to use a threshold value to scale both, to keep a centered line in the center of a building, but to keep to scale these things. You can always play with this, and you can probably even find some solutions that you wouldn't even imagine that can be done with a single object. So this is also in some type of buildings we probably want to change some things like a surface that has to be covered with, and this can be done by using these roof elements here and roof elements here, moved by on every axis. So you have a pretty lot of options to make for making any buildings. I won't be explaining here how to make any additional objects on a building, like advertising panels and something like that. But I will do in some next tutorial. I will try to explain also this one. So once that this template is done, we can rename it here and template edited, and save it to any folder or something like that. I'll be saving this one into a default where is it? Editor, CScape, sorry, CScape editor, buildings. We'll be saving this one here. Then when we want to use our building in our city, we can, for example, let's delete all buildings from here and make a city that uses only our building. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay, I will keep only this one building small because it is the smallest possible building that has to be used filling some gaps and something like that. I will put it here as a general city, and here we should have whole city made by our building made in this session. This is all, and thanks you for watching. Goodbye.